A good career can still cost you your life if it slowly disconnects you from yourself. Read that sentence again. Let the words settle. It has the sharp, clean edge of a difficult truth. For many, it is a truth they live but do not speak. It is the hum beneath the noise of a busy life. You have the job. You have the title. You have the income. You have the respect of your peers. On the outside, the picture is complete, a portrait of success. You wake up before the sun. The alarm is a gentle chime, pulling you from shallow sleep. Stand before the mirror, getting ready for the day. You see the reflection of a person who is capable, responsible, and put together. You practice the smile you will wear in meetings. You adjust the collar of a shirt that feels like a costume. This person is reliable. This person is strong. This person is admired. But as you look closer into your own eyes, you might catch a flicker of something else, a quiet exhaustion, a distant longing. And yet, that small, quiet feeling persists. You live in a beautiful apartment, but the silence feels heavy when you return late at night. You eat a meal alone, scrolling through emails and accolades on your phone. The praise from the outside world feels like it is for someone else, a character you have been playing. A quiet voice inside, the one you have learned to ignore, whispers, "Is this really what you wanted? Is this you?" This essay is about that gap. It is about the space between the life that looks good and the life that feels true. It is not about blaming your career or demonizing ambition. It is a gentle exploration of how we can lose our way, even on a path paved with success. It is an invitation to pause, to listen to that quiet inner voice, and to consider the possibility that a good life is not just about what you achieve, but about how deeply you are connected to yourself along the way. It is a quiet look at the cost of disconnection and the slow, steady work of coming back home to who you are. If your life has looked right but felt wrong, let that be named in the comments. Have you ever looked at your life and realized it worked on paper but not in your spirit? We often use the word success as if it holds a single universal meaning. In our culture, it is a map that leads to a specific destination. That destination is typically marked by financial wealth, professional status, public recognition. It is a ladder we are taught to climb, with each rung representing a promotion, a raise, or a more impressive title. We follow this map because it is clear, it is visible, and it is validated by the world around us. People celebrate you when you reach these milestones. Success, in this sense, is about winning the game that society has laid out for us. It is an external measure of worth. But there is another map, one that is often harder to read. This map does not lead to a destination called success. It leads to a state of being called alignment. To be in alignment is to live and work in a way that feels authentic to your core self. It means your daily actions are in harmony with your deepest values, your innate curiosity, and your sense of purpose. Alignment is not about the size of your paycheck, but about the feeling of rightness in your chest. You can be a successful CEO and feel deeply aligned. You can be a quiet artist with a modest income and also be in alignment. The two are not mutually exclusive, but they are not the same thing. The critical error we make is assuming that the map of success will automatically lead us to the feeling of alignment. We believe that if we just get the next promotion, secure the bigger deal, or earn the higher salary, the inner feeling of contentment and meaning will finally arrive. We chase external validation, hoping it will fill an internal void. But success is an outcome, while alignment is a process. Success is what you have, alignment is who you are. A career built solely on the pursuit of success can slowly, quietly pull you away from the person you are meant to be, leaving you with a collection of trophies in a house that does not feel like home. Think of it this way: success is like climbing a ladder that is leaning against a wall. You focus on each rung, climbing higher and higher, and people below cheer you on. Alignment is about first making sure the ladder is leaning against the right wall. It is about asking, is this wall, this building, this entire direction where I truly want to go? It is possible to get to the very top of the ladder, to be celebrated for your climb, only to realize with a sinking heart that you are on the wrong building entirely. This is the quiet crisis many face, a life full of success yet completely out of alignment. Soft, when a good career stops feeling like a good life. The phrase good on paper is a trap. It sounds reasonable. It sounds logical. It is a way of measuring a life or a career against a checklist of socially approved metrics. Does it have a good title? Does it come with a respectable salary? Does it offer security and a clear path for advancement? If the answers are yes, then the job is deemed good. A life built around these choices becomes a life that is good on paper. It is a life that is easy to explain to your parents, to old friends, to strangers at a party. It is tidy, defensible, and impressive. It makes sense to everyone on the outside. The problem is that you do not live your life on paper. You live it in the quiet moments between the big events. You live it in the heavy silence of your apartment late at night, when the glow of your laptop is the only light. The paper does not know the feeling of your stomach tightening on a Sunday evening, dreading the week ahead. It does not feel the exhaustion that sinks into your bones, an exhaustion that sleep never seems to cure. It does not hear the echo in an empty room after you have hung up the phone from another perfunctory, surface-level conversation. Paper is a flat, two-dimensional summary of a rich, three-dimensional existence. Consider the concrete scenes of a life that is good on paper. It is the takeout container eaten over the kitchen counter at 10 p.m. because you were too tired to cook. It is the brilliant sunrise you miss because you were up until 2 a.m. answering emails, only to wake up to an alarm that demands you start the cycle again. It is the weekend spent recovering from the week rather than truly living. It is the realization that your hobbies have become distant memories, things you used to do. These are the details that do not show up on a resume or a LinkedIn profile, but they are the very fabric of your actual life. This is not a dramatic collapse. It is a slow erosion. It is the quiet creep of compromise. You start by taking on a project you do not love because it will look good for your career. You stay late, then later. You cancel plans with a friend for a can't-miss networking event. Each choice is small and seems justifiable on its own. But over years, these small choices accumulate like layers of sediment until they form a solid wall between your daily reality and your inner self. Your life looks perfect on paper, but when you hold that paper up, you can no longer see your own reflection in it. We are raised to believe in the power of achievement. We treat achievement like a form of medicine. We apply it to our wounds, hoping it will numb the pain and solve the underlying problem. And to be fair, achievement can solve many external problems. But there is a whole category of human suffering that achievement is powerless to fix. Achievement cannot heal profound loneliness. You can be the most celebrated person in your field and still feel utterly alone in a crowded room. The applause and the awards cannot replace the feeling of being truly seen and understood by another person. Achievement can create a genuine sense of meaning. You can hit every target and exceed every expectation, but if the work itself feels pointless to you, the success will feel hollow. It will be like winning a game you never wanted to play in the first place. Furthermore, achievement cannot resolve the friction you feel with yourself. If your work requires you to be someone you are not, to be more aggressive, less empathetic, or more political than is natural to you, no amount of success will make that feel right Every day becomes a small act of self-betrayal. You are praised for a persona, not for your person. This creates a deep internal conflict. Your spirit, the core of who you are, is being slowly suffocated by the demands of the role you are playing. Achievement, in this case, does not heal the wound. It is the very thing that is inflicting it day after day. The most dangerous part of this cycle is the belief that the next achievement will be the one that finally works. We treat our inner well-being like a goal to be unlocked at a future level of success. This is a profound misunderstanding of how our inner lives work. The cost of a misaligned career is not always a dramatic, life-altering event. It is often much quieter. It is a slow and steady theft of the small, simple joys that make life feel rich and textured. When your career demands the best of your time, energy, and mental space, there is very little left over for anything else. The work expands to fill all the available containers, seeping into your weekends and seeping into your thoughts when you are supposed to be resting. The first things to be sacrificed are the non-essential, non-productive pleasures that feed the soul. You miss the simple things first. You stop taking that long walk in the evening because you have to finish one more report. You no longer have the mental bandwidth to get lost in a good book. Cooking a meal from scratch used to bring calm and creativity. Now it's replaced by something quick and efficient. You tell yourself it is temporary. You tell yourself it is a necessary sacrifice for a future goal. But the temporary state stretches from weeks into months and then into years. The small joys don't just disappear. Your capacity to even notice them begins to atrophy. Friendships also begin to thin out. You trade deep, meandering conversations for quick text message check-ins. You are too tired to make plans, and when you do, you are often distracted, your mind still buzzing with work. You maintain a wide network of professional contacts, but you lose the small circle of people who know the real you. You are more connected than ever in a superficial sense, but you feel a growing sense of isolation. The work gives you reach, but it costs you depth. It does not take everything at once. It takes it piece by piece, joy by joy. Yeah, well, that silence is the real cost. If so many people feel this disconnect, why do so few make a change? The answer is not laziness or a lack of desire. The answer most often is fear, but it is not always the loud, obvious fear of financial ruin or failure. It is a much quieter, more insidious kind of fear. It is the fear of disappointing the people who have supported you, your parents, your mentors, your partner. To walk away from it, or even to question it, feels like a betrayal of their belief in you. It feels like telling them their investment in you was a waste. There is also the fear of losing your identity. When your career has been the central pillar of your life for so long, the question, "Who am I without my job?" can be terrifying. Your title, your company, your professional accomplishments, they have become a shorthand for who you are. It is how you introduce yourself. It is how you measure your worth from day to day. To step away from that is to step into a void. It is the fear of being ordinary. It is the fear of no longer being impressive. It is the quiet, nagging fear of discovering that without the armor of your career, there is not much left underneath. This fear keeps us performing. We know the script, we know the role, we know what gets applause, so we keep showing up to the same stage, day after day, delivering the same lines. We collect more praise, we collect more accolades, we collect more external validation, but it never does. The applause is for the performance, not for the person. It is a temporary distraction, not a lasting cure. Closing the gap between your successful career and your true self does not require a dramatic, life-upending explosion. It begins with small, quiet, and honest actions. The first step is simply to ask, better questions. Instead of asking, how can I get ahead? Start asking, what part of my day felt most like me? Instead of asking, what do they want from me? Ask, what part of my work genuinely energizes me? And what part completely drains me? These are not questions of judgment. They are gentle, curious inquiries. Think of them as taking notes for your own life, gathering data on where your energy flows naturally. After asking, begin to experiment with small acts of alignment. Choose to let one morning be slow. Wake up 15 minutes earlier, not to work, but to sit with a cup of tea and watch the sky change color. Take a 10-minute walk in the middle of the day without your phone. Cook one meal over the weekend that takes time and fills your kitchen with a good smell. Say a gentle no to one small request that will drain you and offer no sense of meaning. These acts are small rebellions against the tyranny of productivity, reminding you that your life is more than a to-do list. Create a map of your values. Take out a real piece of paper or open a note on your phone. Write down what truly matters to you. Do not use corporate jargon or abstract concepts. Use simple, human language. Quiet mornings, laughter with my sister, time to read books that have nothing to do with my job, feeling present with my child, working on something with my hands. Make your list. Then, with gentle honesty, look at your calendar from the past week and ask, how much of my time was spent honoring these values? The goal is not to feel guilty, but to see the gap clearly. Finally, speak the truth to someone you trust. Find a friend, a partner, a therapist, a mentor who can listen without trying to fix you. Say the words out loud. My life looks so good from the outside, but I feel like I'm disappearing inside of it. Giving voice to the feeling is a powerful act. It takes the formless anxiety that lives in your chest and gives it shape. It makes it real. Once it's real, it is no longer a secret you have to carry alone. Sharing the burden makes it lighter and opens up the possibility of being supported as you begin to navigate a change. No trophy is heavy enough to anchor a drifting soul. Gentle breath. The journey back to yourself is a process of slow and kind renovation, not demolition. You do not need to quit your job tomorrow and burn all your bridges. That is a narrative of panic. The work of alignment is steadier and more sustainable. It begins with reclaiming the part of your life that exists outside of your job description. Start with your evenings. Intentionally choose to fill them with activities that nourish you, rather than letting them be a spillover recovery zone from work. Put your work phone away after a certain hour. Read a novel, call a friend, learn to play that dusty guitar in the corner. Next, fiercely protect your weekends. A weekend is not just an opportunity to prepare for the coming work week. It is a space for rest, play, and connection. It is sacred time. Make plans that you can look forward to, plans that have nothing to do with networking or productivity. Go for a hike, visit a museum, cook a big meal for people you love, lie on the grass and do nothing at all. When you allow yourself to truly disconnect and recharge, you create a buffer against the depleting effects of a misaligned job. You are refilling your own well, so you are not running on empty during the week. As you begin to feel more grounded and centered in your own life, you may notice a shift in how you show up at work. When you are not desperately seeking validation from your job, because you're finding it in other parts of your life, you can approach your work with more calm and clarity. You might feel brave enough to set better boundaries. You might start volunteering for projects that align with your values and delegating those that do not. Sometimes, when you start showing up as your whole self, the job itself can begin to shift and bend to fit you better. And sometimes it cannot. If After making these changes, the fundamental friction remains. You will be in a much stronger position to consider a bigger move. The small steps you have taken have built up your resilience, clarified your values, and strengthened your support system. You're no longer making a decision out of desperation or burnout, but out of a place of quiet strength and self-knowledge. Whether it is reshaping your current role or seeking a new one entirely, the choice will come from a place of alignment. You will be moving towards something that feels like home, not just running away from something that feels wrong. Let us remember a simple, foundational truth. A good life is not only measured by what you win, acquire, or achieve. It is measured by what you keep. Keeping your sense of wonder, keeping your connection to the people you love, keeping your heart alive and present in your daily experience. Success can and should be part of that life. It cannot be the whole of it. It is the spice, not the meal. If your life looks right to the world but feels wrong to your spirit, let that awareness be a gift. Let it be the start of a kind, steady return. If this quiet ache is familiar, you are not alone. The world celebrates the visible over the vital. Many have walked this road before you. Some made small internal shifts and found profound peace. Some made brave leaps into new ways of living and working. Many are just beginning to notice the gap and take tentative steps. Your story is your own. It need not follow anyone else's timeline or solution. This is not a call to action in the usual sense. It is the opposite, an invitation to be slower, listen deeply, move with intention. If this reflection named an experience you couldn't name, do not rush past it. Stay with the feeling for a while. Let it teach you. You can begin right now in this quiet moment. Ask one small question. Make one small choice that honors your spirit. Tell one truth to someone who will listen with kindness. This is not a race. A slow, gentle walk back toward yourself. Your work should not demand your life as payment. It should be an integrated part of a life that feels whole and like yours. If this resonates, let it be more than a thought. Let it begin a conversation, first with yourself, then with others. If your life looked right but felt wrong, name it in the comments. You can simply write, I feel this in. If this reflection gave your experience language, stay with this channel for more quiet conversations. Have you ever realized your life worked on paper but not in your spirit? What did that feel like? Why success doesn't feel like success anymore? A good career can still cost you your life. Keep the parts of you that make it a good one.